Did you know that marketing automations, aka sales funnels, have led to a 458% increase in quality of leads? Now, what that means is that good leads are created, they're not found. And today I'm going to show you how we use ConvertKit, a really powerful email marketing tool, to build your first automation and start capturing leads and nurturing those people the minute they become a subscriber. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Kim & Co. YouTube channel. My name is Chris. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, here's the deal. Studies have shown that you have about 1 week to go from someone finding out who you are to them kind of not remembering who you are and maybe even unsubscribing from your email list. And so the most important thing you can do is really nurture and move that person from just random person that found you on the internet into someone that's involved and impacted by your world and knows who you are, and you're building that relationship. Marketing automations are exactly how you do that. And many people, what we find is they're not doing automations. And so people join their list and they know they're supposed to be doing that, but they're not sending frequency of emails enough to really introduce themselves. It's like making a good first impression. And so when you do send an email, maybe it's months after they join the list and they literally don't even remember who you are. So after today, when I walk you through this tutorial about using ConvertKit, what you're going to find is this: you're going to take the work off of your plate and put it onto your automations. Your automations are going to be your greeter and your salesperson 24/7 for you. And it runs on autopilot, which is even better. So here's what we're going to first do. And I'm going to show you my screen here. It might look a little bit different than what you would see on your end. I'm using a big 4K gaming monitor. But this is an idea of what you can do building your first automation. So this is what we would call a lead magnet. So we're very big around here. You may know us for this, on organizing your content, developing a content strategy in your business, so on and so forth. So we use this, the Ultimate Content Calendar template, as what we call a lead magnet. What that does is it takes people from a random lurker or an observer or someone that engages with your content. You're promoting a resource for free in exchange for an email. Now, the reason I'm prompting you with this first is because this is going to be the very top of your automation, right? This is going to be what sends them down a path where you're introducing them to a product or service that you offer. And we've seen this have the highest rate of return in terms of getting people interested and willing to give you name and email in exchange for a valuable resource. Just to put that into perspective for you, we've run this directly with ads, meaning we sent ads directly to this page and converted over 90% of those leads, meaning people that hit this page, 90% of them became leads for the business, starting down the path of one of those automations. Now, you'll see here we have a form, right? And this is going to be a little bit fancier than what we're going to show you here today. But this is a multi-step process where they're giving name, they're giving email, and we have an optional phone number, et cetera, et cetera. When they finish this, they're going to be redirected to a confirmation page that says, "Thank you, your resource is en route to your inbox." Now, this is where the magic happens, because this form, we're going to actually build this right inside ConvertKit. And wherever you want to put that on your website, you'll see we put ours right here on this landing page. But you could put yours on a blog. You could put it directly on your homepage. But it needs to be something of value. Your lead magnet needs to provide something to your audience that they're going to be enticed enough to want to take action on that. If you are a dietitian, it could be something like, my top recipes for gut health. If you were a doctor, it could be a health checklist. Or if you're a personal trainer, it could be something in line with that, like the top 3 stretches I recommend for not getting injured during your workout. Right? Get creative and figure out what people are looking for in your market that they're going to be willing to take the next steps with you. And that's going to be where you interface that either on your website, or you can actually just promote these on social media and send them to what we call here, which this is a landing page, right? Now, how do we create this part? This is the part where the magic happens, right? This is where we transition people from lurker to potential lead for the business. And how we're going to do that is we're going to go to ConvertKit, and underneath our grow section here, they have different menu options. You're going to go to landing pages and forms, right? So just prompt you to come back right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to create new. And then you have the option. So you can choose a form or you can choose a landing page. Now, here's the deal with this. If you have a place you're already getting traffic to your website, you have a place where you are just going to embed this, whether that's a blog or a homepage or just a static landing page like what we have here, then you're going to choose this option. And the reason being is it's just going to provide you with a piece of code, and it's going to be a blank form that we're going to put right here, right? Now, if you don't have anything and you're newer to business, maybe you're in the hustle phase, you're just promoting things on social media, you might want to choose their landing page option. And the reason is because, like this page, they kind of give you that template already. And so what you're going to do is just swap out pictures, swap out images, change the text, add your form's already going to be there, right? And so it just kind of does it for you. There's also a list of different categories of templates, right? So if there's wait lists, then maybe that's something you look into. If this is an opt-in for a webinar, we've got that there. If it's something for an ebook, you've got that. Or if it's just a newsletter, so on and so forth. Now, for us and for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how to go the form route, because I'm going to assume that you already have a traffic source that you have in mind that you're thinking about embedding this. Now, we recommend, and you can do a variety of different things here. In fact, you could use many of these different formats. Like you could have a sticky bar on the top of your website if you're running a promotion or you have some kind of special going on. That would be a great place to do that. You could do a slide in. You could do inline, which is what I'm going to recommend here, or the modal option, right, which is going to give you some different things, more specifically kind of like looking like a pop-up, right? It's kind of what that looks like. But for the purposes of what we're doing here, we're just going to get a static inline. And I use this one here called the Claire form, right? So this is what that will look like when we click here. You're going to see email address. And then what we can do is we can say, hey, we also want to collect a name, right? So name and email. Now you can swap these, like you can, change the order in which you're asking these various things for. But what we want to do is make sure that we have whatever we're including here. We want to make sure if we're just doing name and email, or we want phone number, we're going to add those different items there so that that's what people are providing when they sign up. Cool. Now, under your settings, one thing you might want to do is really consider what you're going to show them after. Are you going to redirect them? Are you going to tell them, hey, great, you're opted in, like check your inbox? So make sure you've done that, as well as deciding if you're going to have an incentive email. Now, this is a big, big deal because this is what we call double confirmation. And what that's going to happen is it's going to send them an email to ask them, are you sure you really want to opt in for this? In which case, they're going to have to do that before they enter into your automation. So it might provide a little bit of conflict there. We typically will turn that off. Now, there's some different things to consider with double opt-in. So you can read this article if you'd like to learn more about that. But as a general rule, you can just turn that off with automation specifically, so long as you understand what that entails. All right, next is in line with this, I mentioned you're going to have a message that they're prompted with, or what we do is we redirect them. So we create a custom landing page post, which is technically a confirmation page, post opt-in. Now, what we're doing is we're putting them in front of a sales asset. We're saying, hey, your resource is here. I'll go ahead and show you. Your resource is here. It's going to be in your inbox in 30 minutes. We also do a segmentation question here. And then what you'll see is this. Now, mine automatically redirected because the offer expired. But what we're doing is we're putting them in front of an offer. So now they have a template. We're helping you fill out your content calendar with 90 days of done-for-you post ideas to cut your content creation time in half, right? So we're putting them immediately in front of an offer. So you can do that and start selling people something right out of the gates if you so desire to do so. Now, that could be a variety of things. You could literally just say thank you, and then you'll be in touch. We tend to go ahead and put people right in front of an offer because we found that to be the best case scenario for our business specifically. But it all starts with making sure you have this. So if you wanted to do a redirect, you would simply create a confirmation page like this, and then you would add that right here as a redirect page and hit save. Now, the last thing you're going to do here is you're going to want to make sure that you give this a proper name. So in this case, we would say content calendar template. We already know it's a form, so we don't have to write that twice. Content calendar template, and let's say new, all right? If we were creating a new one. You could put the date. Sometimes I'll put the date so we know exactly what year this is for if we do something different. Okay, so you would hit publish. And then what happens is this. You're going to take this piece of HTML code right here. Now, there should be a truncated version, but you can't just hit copy, right? And then what you would do is you would go back to this page. You would edit this page, and then you would drop that code right here at this section right here, and this will immediately populate. Now, it won't look like this because we're using a different tool that connects to ConvertKit, but that's a pro tip. You don't need to worry about that. But for the time being, you would have the name, email, and subscribe button. You can change the name if you're like download now. You could change that as well inside of that form builder, but you would put that right here. So you would see that populate right there. So that's exactly how you would go about doing that. Cool. All right, now that we have that done, our form is there, we have it embedded where we want to, or we have our templatized landing page that ConvertKit has provided for us, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna build our first automation, because now that we have the form, where's that form gonna connect to and where are we gonna send people? So what you'll do is you go to Automate and then go to Visual Automations. Now, you'll see here it's gonna show a list of different automations that we have. I prefer the list view because I put designations in front of everything. As you're building a lot of these, you're gonna see it gets pretty robust, and so naming convention is gonna be really, really important. Specifically, when you have thousands of leads coming in, you need to know exactly where those people are being sent to. And then you'll have kind of the same exact process here as far as different templates and options. You can check those out if you'd like, but they'll give you some different options that they've already created that have been pre-created for various things that you maybe are looking to do. For the intents and purposes of what we're doing today, we're going to choose simply start from scratch. Now, the first thing you're going to do, and again, we're going to skip this because we just had the option to choose some templates here. We would go to start building. Now, everything that we do, and you have two options here. So you can do form or tag. Now, based on that form, you could associate a tag with that when they opt in. But since we just did that and it's a direct, there's no sense in making it more challenging than it has to be. So you're going to hit join a form. And then what you'll do is you're going to pick the one, you'll see new, that we just created. And then we're going to go to add event. Now, what you'll see is anybody that is gone through that form now, as soon as we hit live on this, which we're not going to do that yet, but they're going to be prompted as a new subscriber inside of this automation. So you would change the name, CCT automation, and then boom, you've got your first automation ready to rock and roll. Now, again, let's not hit live just yet because there's another step in the process as far as connecting these. Now, it might feel discombobulated that you have to go to multiple different places to do various things, but I promise you down the road, this is actually gonna be really, really beneficial. The reason is this, as you're building these things and you're writing some of these email templates, you may use them in more than one automation. Meaning, if you've got a welcome email sequence based off of multiple different lead magnets that people are opting in with, you may want to use that same one all the time. And so by having an email sequence that you wrote, you can simply just add it to whatever automation that you have. There's many downsell opportunities that we take advantage of inside of our automations, and we use the same one for many of them. If you didn't have the ability to do these separately, it wouldn't have that ability to mix and match. You'd have to rewrite them inside the automation for every single automation that you do. And that was what one of the other challenges that we had was inside of the tool we were using previously before we came back to ConvertKit for said reasons, that it just creates added steps for you. So this gives you the ability to have a universal basically database of emails that you can plug in per the automations that you need them for. Same goes for the various automations that you create with various forms, right? So you can create multiple forms, they can go to different automations. So it all just allows you to kind of connect it like Lego blocks. Like you can hey, I want this to go here and I want this to go here. So for example, if you created a new automation and you want to use the exact same form and you want to archive the one we're creating here, for example, you don't have to go through and rebuild the whole process. You just connect it to the form you already created. So it makes it seamless and easy to navigate. So just for some clarity around that, that's why we're having to go to 3 different places to do basically one thing. Okay, we're gonna go to sequences, and then what you'll see we'll do here is we're gonna hit new sequence. And this was across the top menu, by the way. So you would go to send, and then sequences is where I went to. So every time you get lost about where to find something, just go back to the home menu by clicking their logo icon here, and then you can navigate accordingly with their drop-down menus. Okay, now we're gonna be able to choose a template for the sequence. Now, we prefer to make ours look like normal emails. Unless people are expecting, sometimes in a physical product business, some people, they expect a lot of images in the email because they're looking at products, like that's kind of what they're signing up for. New deals, new discounts, new offerings, stuff like that. So it depends on what you're selling. With us selling information, we're providing a lot of information. And so we actually create a custom template that we will utilize. and then we'll just duplicate that because it has the font sizes and everything that we like to use. But for what we're doing now, let's go ahead and click on that. So first thing you'll see is you're going to write your subject line. So typically for something like this, since we're going to deliver that lead magnet first, we would say, open up your download, and you could give it the name of the download is waiting inside, right? Now, little pro tip here, you can do edit preview text, and you can actually put like a secondary message. So this would be the subject line, and then that little bit of text they see after that, you can actually write that in there. And sometimes that's a really smart thing to do. If there's like multiple messages you're trying to convey, you can do one as the primary, right, which is your subject line, and then your preview text would actually facilitate a different message. So sometimes that's a really beneficial thing that we will take advantage of. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to write your email sequence here, right? And you're welcoming them to your world, and you're going to deliver that lead magnet. Now, there's a lot of steps involved with actually delivering that lead magnet to them. What we don't recommend is that when they download here from this page, that you just send them directly to the link with the lead magnet. The reason being is you're going to get a lot of fake emails, and they're not going to be real potential leads. So there's really not a lot to have gained. But if you want to just send them directly to your lead magnet from the download, you can do that. I'm just giving you a word of caution that you might get some fake emails where people are getting the resource and they didn't give you a real email and name associated with that. It does happen. Now, if you are going to go that route, there's an added step, and I'm going to drop a link so you can check out how to do that. We use Amazon AWS. That's their cloud service that they provide, where you can actually upload your lead magnet to that resource, and then they give you an actual link. And you're going to use that link and say, here is your download. And then what you would do is you would hyperlink that by going here and then adding the Amazon AWS. The service is called S3. You would add that here. So you would add your URL, and then it would it would open up for them in a new tab. That's how you want to set that up. But that's how you would set that up. Then you would say, this is what we do. This is how we serve. This is what you can expect. Right? So that way we're already conditioning them for the next sequence in the next series of emails. Now, something that we just did was we hosted a sales funnels bootcamp. And inside that bootcamp, we're actually giving you basically all of these resources just templatized for you, as well as some of the things you should be saying to make more sales from this. So I'm going to drop that link if you're interested. We do have a replay available for purchase. You can check that out below, but it literally would give you the ability to just plug these in, run. In fact, sometimes people have done that and made sales within the first 24 hours that are exceeding what they paid for actual admission to the bootcamp. So it's a really powerful resource, no pressure at all, but if you want to check that resource out, it is included below. Okay, so once this is written, you'll see here over on the right-hand column, you'll have the ability to add more emails. Now, we recommend, again, capitalizing on the first 7 days, at least 4 emails. Don't overdo it, but back to back to back, you can do about 4 or 5 emails to just let people know what's going on in your world, what they can expect, and then transitioning into talking to them about potential sales opportunities with your business. Now, something you can do is you can build this out in your actual automation. So I sometimes will do this. I will do just the delivery email, right? So I'll use just this one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to name this. We're going to say CCT welcome new. We're going to say they're going to get this immediately. And let's say we're going to do this as 2 separate forms here. And we're going to say delete this secondary email. You can do it this way if you like. And then you're going to hit publish on this. Now we go back to the automation. And what I would recommend doing is this. I would actually do a slight delay. Because if you're going to put them in front of something like a confirmation page where you're selling something, you want them to be focused on that. So if you tell them, hey, it's going to be in your inbox in about 30 minutes from right now, then you want that to actually be reflected as such. So I would say 30 minutes as a delay before this email is triggered, because now they're coming in through the form. There's a 30-minute delay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say CCT welcome new and hit add action. So they will come through here, they'll wait 30 minutes, they'll receive this email. Now, next, what I like to do sometimes, and you could build them all in one if you want, it totally is up to you, but we could build all of these sales emails that you're going to provide. So let's say you're transitioning them like we do, we use Content Counter Playbook to sell something. Then what you would do is you'd have 4 or 5 emails that are selling that product after the fact, right? So everybody that goes through this automation, they would receive that series of emails. Or if you want to keep the welcome different, because maybe you're selling something different down the road, but you still use the same welcome email, right? You want to be able to have those interchangeable. So it's totally up to you. That's why I did it this way, because sometimes I will use this one over and over again if I'm sending, multiple different avenues to the same resource, but I'm not selling the same thing on the back end. Maybe I'm going to split test to a different product. I'm going to go Content Counter Playbook, or then somewhere else I'm going to get you to go to a content class, which sells, another product. It's like a bigger resource. So you can really break it down contingent upon that, and you can have a different form that sends them down either path using the same welcome email. Hope that's not too confusing. But if you just want to keep it simple, then just have the welcome email with your sales emails on the bottom of that, right? And that is pretty much what you're going to do, is have this basic sequence. Now, you can get pretty fancy pants with it if you want to. There's a lot of different options you can do building on this. This is your basic now first automation. So congrats, you're there. But there's other things you can do as well. You can do downsells. You can do all these various things. So let's say, you want to pull them out of this sequence. Let's say you're selling something in this email sequence and you want to pull them out of there. Well, then what you would do is you would build a condition based on a tag, and you would say something like buyer, and this is where naming convention is going to be really important. Let's say they bought the Content Counter Playbook, right? Which is what I just mentioned. You're going to add that condition. Now, this is going to mean that at the end of this sales sequence, it's going to look for that tag, right? And it's going to pull them out whether or not they have that tag or not. Now, what if they buy on email number 2 and you're sending them 5 emails? They're going to be annoyed. They're going to be like, I just bought this. Why are you still sending me sales emails? So the way we set it up is we go to an event, tag is added, and then we do buyer Content Counter Playbook. So what would basically happen is this. While they're going through this sales email sequence, if they don't buy and they go all the way through, this tag will say, nope, they don't have it. And you can sell them something else or send them an email here that says like, hey, how can I help you? And maybe you're like, in that email sequence, you're asking them, what are you looking for? And you have little links that say, I'm looking for coaching. I'm looking for X, Y, or Z. I'm looking for more information on this. And so it gives you the ability to kind of learn more about your people if they don't take you up on that offer. Or if they did buy, since we put this tag here, what it will do is when they purchase, it will pull them out of this if they bought on email 2, as I referenced, and it will pull them all the way down to here, in which case what you can do then is send them a follow-up email. Hey, saw you purchased. Thanks so much. Here's some next steps, what you can expect. Also, I'm hosting a class where we're doing X, and maybe you're going to try to sell them on something else, more of your programs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At the very least, this would be the general structure that I have, just because I don't want to send 5 sales emails and have people confused when they're receiving all of them, even though they have purchased. Now, all of this is going to be contingent upon the tags that have been added, and you're going to need something like a merchant to be able to send that tag back to ConvertKit. So there's probably an entire part 2 to this video that I don't want to overwhelm and confuse you with, but for the time being, you definitely want to have some structure like this in place that allows you to be able to at least send people down a path. So whether you get to this conditional stuff or not, just know that if people buy here and you're still sending them sales emails, it might be confusing. So something to note and something to be mindful of if you're using this in a sales capacity. So we use Samcart. Samcart, based on that product, is going to be able to send a tag, and I'm going to show you here in a second, back to ConvertKit and tell them this tag should be applied to this subscriber. So let me show you that, and then we're going to call this one a wrap. Okay, so you'll see this offer. Samcart is super easy to use, and in fact, they have many templates you can just choose and rock and roll much the same way when you're selling something here. But what you would look for this particular issue is product purchase, right? These are integration rules. You would integrate this tool, and then on purchase, you'll see here, add tags, buyer, Content Counter Playbook. OR stands for organic traffic. So going back to here, you'll see this is the exact same tag. So Samcart in this case would send this tag back to ConvertKit because you have those tools connected, in which case it would know this person bought inside of your sales email sequence. And again, it will pull them out so they're not receiving sales emails going forward. Now, the benefit, you're probably wondering, how do they receive the product? The good thing is with Samcart, what you can do is you can actually add it right here. So this is a digital file. And when they purchase, on their summary page of their purchase, it will give them that file right then and right there to be able to download it directly on to their computer. Now, if you guys are interested in signing up for these tools, if you're not already on those tools, we did include affiliate links. You probably get some extra goodies and bonuses for using our affiliate links, both for ConvertKit, but I also included Samcart as a pro tip because they do integrate so seamlessly. But if you guys have any further questions, let us know in the comments. The key to remember here is this: make it simple to start. Even if you are still sending sales emails, it's probably not a huge deal. People might give you some grace. You are going to want to incorporate that at some point because it is a little bit confusing and annoying for people to go through that, but totally understand if there's like a big hurdle involved with that. Personally, I would set aside about a week to make sure that my tool stack is set up right and I've got all these things rocking and rolling. But realistically, if you give yourself about a month, I think that's probably realistic. Again, inside the Sales Funnels Bootcamp replay that we hosted, it's going to help you get to that faster. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out as well. All of those links are included below in the description. Make sure you guys like this video if you got a lot of value out of this. Again, drop a comment if you have further questions. Hit the bell for notifications for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.